Yo, yo, what up, what up, what up? What up, everybody? Alright, I'm just gonna settle in here for a moment. Do a little bit of a preface that, sorry in advance, I'm probably gonna sound tired throughout the first part of the stream. I guess you guys can probably venture as to why that may be. But alright, hope everyone's doing well. Today, I don't really feel like doing a deep market outlook dive. I'm down to do a glance on my own, but I'm really kind of moving more in the direction today of kind of getting more into just the Q&A and seeing where the chat wants to take it. I'm not allowed to speak my mind on YouTube, otherwise a couple of chatters would be 17 feet deep right now, not just 6 feet. You would be like 3 or 4 graves deep. What up, Delta? Delta is Sylvia alt, obviously. Doc's getting a little too ballsy recently. Might have to, one of the things I never expected was because of the social dynamic with trading where people are kind of rough around the edges that we spend time around, I've gotten so much better at roasting my friends. But the problem is I can't translate that over into other parts of my life because my default jokes are just they're too much. I'll get canceled over this shit now. Liquidator. Yeah, I wonder I wonder who you are. Future gazillionaires. Alright, everybody, so yeah, hopefully everyone's doing well. I know that most of you guys, I don't know why you guys tune in. I was about to say, most of you guys probably tune in for me to tell you what I think is going to happen with Bitcoin. Some of you guys, that might be the case, right? You want me to tell you what I think is going to happen with Bitcoin right now. We still bullish, bearish, whatever, right? Honestly, if you guys feel like typing, let me know why do you guys show up to this stream every week? Genuinely curious. I know sometimes I say some good shit, but then I also say dumb shit all the time too, so it kind of balances itself out. Yeah, slap that like button. Thank you, Simple. Yeah, 115 of you in here and 16 likes. If you could press that like button, I would appreciate it. It does help us out a lot, pushes us forward in the algo, so I can hopefully be the voice of reason for some people. Looking for new friends to DM me in prison. Nice, bro. Nice, very nice. Want to be like me when I grow up? Do you really, though? Sir, one CS stream? I stream CS on Twitch every now and then. I'm probably never going to stream CS on this account, guys. I'll do it on YouTube for fun. Listening to strengthen my bias. Trading's lonely. I like hearing other people's thoughts. Yeah, I get that. I do interact with a lot of trader friends, but excuse me, I need to clear my throat. Sorry, my allergies are really bad right now in combination with the fact that I didn't sleep very well. You'd be surprised that maybe this would be something you guys find interesting as a starting conversation. I talk to a lot of I have a lot. I'm friends with a good amount of people that have large followings and are known for being good or whatever. I think you guys would be really surprised to find out that whenever I hop on voice chats, and a lot of the times it's not one-on-one, a lot of those times those calls are with myself and a couple other people, we almost never talk about trading stuff. So I think that a lot of you guys would be really surprised to hear that. When I hang out with most of my trader friends, sure, trading conversations get brought up, but a lot of the times the conversations are not like specific to the markets, right? No, like when I hop on a call with people that have been trading for years, nobody cares at all about what the other people are thinking, right? Nobody's like, well, I'm kind of worried about my Bitcoin trade right now. Let me ask CBS right now what he thinks. Like when I talk to somebody like that, like I don't care what he's doing and he doesn't care what I'm doing. So I think that a lot of you guys would have some pretty surprising, a lot of you guys would have a very different interpretation of what those conversations look like, right? We spend more time joking around and sharing memes and doing stupid shit like that than ever talking about markets with any of my trading friends, whether they're my closest or more distant friends. It's mostly about fun. I stress that on my streams all the time. You got to learn to have fun in the process, otherwise you're not going to make it. All right, let me read through the rest of the chat and then I'll get started with the Bitcoin outlook. Bitcoin positioning, you're always on point. No, I'm not, bro. I get some stuff right for sure, but absolutely I make mistakes. I get shit wrong. Just last week I got it wrong, yeah? Just for illustrative purposes, right? I transitioned my whole portfolio to being risk on, around 60K-ish. And, I went fully net long around 60K, had some good, levered positions as well as spot. And look at what I did, guys. Did I take profit up here? Nope. I fully round tripped everything last week. I was up pretty healthily last week, and then I round tripped it all. So, my thesis isn't wrong necessarily, but I didn't trade that perfectly by any means. So I just want to, right in front of you immediately, there's already a huge mistake I've already made in recent times. So being always on point isn't something that really exists. Want to watch your thought process behind your positioning, basically. All right. Show up to absorb market knowledge. Cheers, bro. Learn and avoid looking at my underwater positions. Honestly, I know you're joking when you write that, but like not looking at your, I'm not saying avoid the position and cope about it going against you, but sometimes, a lot of times with higher time frame trades, playing video games, doing whatever is a great way to be patient, come for entry, stop and take profit. And that's why you're poor and feel bad about everything, right? You said you will expand upon open interest and give alpha. Yeah, I'm not doing it on the stream though. Thanks, Sora. Who from CT is most likely to be on the Diddy list? Oh, bro, there's one name that comes to mind, of course. What the fuck's that guy's name? God John. He looks like he belongs on the list, obviously. 30% here for the weekly outlook, 70% here for the general questions and vibe. Yeah, so I really like the vibe element is a big thing for me. I'm here to have fun, guys. Well, hopefully some of you guys here show up to the stream to enjoy yourself as well, not just to learn. Thanks, Sora. What's your view on bookmap for order flow? Bookmap, fine. I think I would probably only really use bookmap though if I was trading the S&P or the Nas. If I was, for trading crypto, I don't think that it's necessary. Conditions feel hard for sure, guys. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not in easy mode right now. Time to take LSD and lock in. All right, bro. S&P up, BTC down. Classic. When are we going to get the Bitcoin trending more aggressively? Doesn't look like we'll see 70K by elections. Bro, you don't think we could say 70K by elections? We could go to 70K in one day from where we're at easily, right? What percentage is that, like 10%? We could easily go up 10%. Like, so I don't know why, you would think that. Why do I always dream to hold some large position into 100K or 200 SOL? Is that stupid? The reason why you think that way, that's honestly a good topic. This is a really good educational conversation around, expected value on positions, right? So you get into a trade and you say, this thing's going to go up. I'm going to buy this thing. And then this is my final take profit, right? Or this is where I want to take profit. This is the magic level that everyone's going to have marked out on their charts, right? And then it does this. What should you do? Right? Social media is probably one of the main things that's making you guys swing for the fences on all your trades. But the reality is swinging for the fences, right? We get the opportunity to swing for the fences maybe a month out of the entire year. Realistically, it's probably like 3 weeks out of the year. So If you look at it that way, you should understand that swinging for the fence, because that's essentially what you're talking about doing, Za, right? You're swinging for the fences. You're swing trading Bitcoin to 100K. Yeah, that's going to look great on social media. But how's that going to affect your equity curve? It's probably going to negatively impact it more than anything. And most importantly, it's going to impact your psychology, because if you round trip, right? Just that round trip that I just showed you guys. Am I worried about it? No. Am I going to lose stress over it? No. Is it going to make me question if I'm a good trader or not? No. I'm still pissed about it though, right? I still absolutely could have locked in a considerable amount of money last week. So should you be swinging for the fences? Obviously, you guys already know the answer. You shouldn't be. The most likely path to success is stacking consistent wins until you get your opportunity to go for a really big play. Even the best traders on CT are getting faked out. Well, I mean, I'm not like, there's a difference too between round tripping, some positional P&L on portfolio, right? Versus I'm not over here getting chopped up by any means. That's the key here, right? Are we still bag holding ETH? I don't know, bro. Are you? I hope not. I have a tiny bit of ETH, right? But like, it's not anything that means anything in my portfolio. Like I've said for almost 2 years now, Solana and, or like a solid year and a half, Solana and Bitcoin grossly outweigh everything else in my portfolio. Gainsey, no, I don't think Gainsey belongs on that. Thanks, Tom. Or George. I'm all in on Denny. It's the home run bias. Yeah, of course. I mean, so look, you see somebody on your timeline hit a home run, trade an account from $200 to 50K, and you go, fuck yeah, my turn, right? And the likelihood that you're ever going to do that is super low. Is it possible? Absolutely. But I mean, honestly, all this comes back to the original conversation that I've brought up on so many streams, right? The tortoise or the hare. That's the way that I like to explain it, right? The average person will end up as the hare, right? Because it's too difficult to say, hey, I'm down to make my money slow and steady, right? And I liked Huss's explanation that he threw out, I think it was last week, where he basically just simplified that down to the faster you want to make the money, the faster you'll lose it, right? So I've been saying this for a long time, and I really do believe it. Most of you guys would be just so much better off taking a slow and steady approach to this stuff. I don't think I can honestly say I know a single person that's ever been successful with this fast route. I genuinely don't know anybody. And I have seen so many people crash and burn trying to go fast. It's one of the most, that's why I mentioned that guy so much, because it's one of the, over my experience in teaching people, it's been one of the most prevalent mistakes over the years. Everybody's too fat, wants money too fast. Thanks for the stuff. Yeah, no problem, Ben. I don't mind, dude. What's your average percentage? So I don't view things that way, guys. I mean, I've already explained this on so many extremes. I see Doc with the follow-up troll question right away too. How I handle risk on account isn't something that's going to translate over to most of you guys, right? Because look, do I have, out of my total net worth, right, my trading accounts don't equate to a considerable amount of my money, right? Where for your average trader, that's probably the other way around, where your trading accounts are actually a chunk of your money. So when I say that I'm down to risk 10-15% of my account on a trade, it doesn't really equate to 10-15% of my money. It equates to the fucking 0.2% of my money, right? So that's why I don't like doing fixed risk percentage stuff with explanations, because it's a terrible way for me to explain it, right? I genuinely will take trades. I bet you on my perp account, I'm probably averaging 10-15% risk right now on each trade. Should you guys do that? Fuck no, right? But it's because, that account, if it gets wiped for some reason and I fuck up, it's not going to affect me at all, right? It's that purpose of that account is purely just to trade. So most of you guys should probably stick somewhere between 2 to 5% risk on accounts. But it really all depends on how experienced you are, right? The more experienced you are, the more risk you can take. If you've been trading for 3 months, you should not be trying to press your risk ever. You should be focused on acquiring skill and experience and surviving. So that means you should be trading extremely low percentage risk. Yeah, if you guys type out the leverage question a couple more times, I'll answer it. Thoughts on PopCat meme sentiment right now? Memes are guaranteed to run. I'm optimistic on memes, as I've been for an extremely long time. Just a couple weeks ago, you would have seen threads from people, big accounts, talking about how memes are gonna go away, blah blah blah. I'm not gonna sit here and argue with people on Twitter, but every time I see one of those takes, I think that they're retarded, right? There's no other way around that. I feel very confident that memes aren't gonna go away anytime soon, that they're only gonna get larger. So PopCat specifically, what do I think about PopCat? It's obviously in a fucking gigatrend right now. So what am I supposed to say about it? I'm not in the trenches on memes, so it's not like I'm an expert on it or anything. I mostly stick to liquid shit. But yeah, I mean, in general, we're gonna continue to see memes win out, I think, for the foreseeable future. I think eventually we'll probably get to a paradigm shift point where we've gotten too stupid with memes, and then we will eventually do a return to value meta, but I think that's probably going to take a really long time before we get there. I think a lot of people need to be wrong about memes first. I'm not even going to say that name, but that guy's a weirdo. Sympathy. I never regret taking profit in hindsight, but only regret not taking profit so many times. There you go. I mean, the flip side to it, right, where you regret taking profit, you sell things too early. I mean, is it really the end of the world that you sold something too early, Between the two mistakes of selling too early or selling too late, selling too early is obviously better. Speaking from experience, fast gains precede huge loss. Of course, yeah, right? I mean, whenever we win, your confidence is going to go up. Harry, that account is fucking weird, dude. I'm not saying that he never made money or anything like that. I'm sure he probably did, but he gives terrible advice, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not a fan of that account ever since how he handled the FTX situation. I'm not really, I know he made an apology and whatnot, and that's legit, that's valid, but I'm not gonna let people slide on making those kind of mistakes. Not okay. None of the fast money trader P&Ls share their losses, though. Yeah, I mean, of course, right? Of course. Thoughts on Gala? All right, bros. I don't really want to get into the shitcoin charts just yet, but we can look at Gala, probably mostly just because it's going to be a good lesson of what not to trade. I find it very hard to believe the Gala is going to be a good coin. So let's go ahead and address that. Jesus Christ. This thing's 2 fucking cents. Alright, let's do a little bit of... a little history time. Back in January of 2022, this thing was 30-something cents, right? And I remember saying, this thing's going to fucking zero. And then I had the whole telegram from Gala come into my stream and tell me I was stupid, which was hilarious. We'll always love the pizza line for the Paragon OGs. I'm still the supreme resistance on this shitcoin. So I mean, Peter, look how far this thing is from the fucking pizza line right now. So bro, look, who asked this question? Timo. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you, right? Old coins are almost always bad. You want to focus on new stuff, right? This thing is in a perpetual downtrend, and yes, it has the argument that it could do a pop. And a pop on this thing is a lot, right? This thing could go up 50% or even close to 100%, right? But is this what you should be prioritizing, right? And the answer is obviously no. I'm just being honest with you, right? You trade these assets long enough, and you should know that things that are in downtrends should not be bought. Simple as that. And for the Paragon OGs, it really is beautiful that I topped this thing out in January 2023. I'm not going to take credit where I'm the only seller, but I absolutely played a big role in topping this thing out because my asks were basically the Pico Schmico top and people sold after me. And it's just funny that literally a year and a half later, My resistance that I created still holds. So this will always be something. I'll come back to this chart when I'm 80 years old, and I'm hoping to remain the resistance forever. If I get to come back to this thing in, 55 years, look at this and go, fuck yeah, I did, like, that would be hilarious, guys, honestly. I risked it all and won. Unfortunately, the court disagreed. Don't worry, Sam. You'll get him next time. Stocks pumping, crypto dumping. Why, though? It just is what it is, guys. You're going to ask that question. It's not like there's some magical answer. It just is what it is. Crypto is the risk asset, so it's a lot less likely to, when times are uncertain, it's less likely to catch a bid. It just is what it is. Are they really going up that much? Yeah, they're doing all right. Look, guys, last year the same exact thing happened where going in, Q3 and going into Q4, stocks were outperforming crypto and crypto played catch up. So we just simply pray it does the same thing. I had one account go from 700K to 100K just the other day from the Iran attack. Bro, that's rough, dude. That's rough. High-risk poker players are not following. I thought that was a given. I had to reread that like 3 times. Like, yeah, you shouldn't be taking advice from an Alex Weiss type of person, obviously. We good for him if he can gamble his way to millions. I risk 100% of my account every trade because I've never been wrong. I hold Bitcoin and it never not worked. It never not worked. I'm not going to pump your on-chain shitcoin. Nice try. If you had to choose 3 tools to be stuck with, what would they be? My brain, my eyes, and my hands. You're welcome. If I really only had 2 or 3 tools, I would obviously use VWAP. I would obviously use some sort of volume tool, or vol, or buy/delta, something like that. Who knows, bro? It's probably VWAP's spaghetti volume. Volume is a very, unspecific answer on purpose. You got to tell the new guys, why did you sell? All right, real quick. Well, I've already told this story so many times, and a lot of people are probably tired of hearing it. That's why I try not to sell it that much. But this is, so Meridian wants me to tell the story of why I sold this. I think this could be genuinely good education for you guys, right? So, TLDR, I took this trade. It was one that took maybe 8-9 hours to play out. So I took the trade. Gala went up 25% or almost 30% after I bought it. And I'm sitting there late at night. I got a pizza on its way getting delivered to me. And I said, why am I still in this trade? And eventually the pizza got delivered. I went and got the pizza, put it on my island in the kitchen, came back into the office and said, yeah, I'm done. So I spent about 5-10 minutes selling everything, and then I was done. So the lesson there is that you think everything is about support and resistance, about this edge, that edge. Sometimes somebody that's big in the order book just says, I'm buying this or I'm selling this, and then the bottom or top is created, and it's that simple. So I had a very, very large position on, and I soaked a lot of flow. A lot of buying came through, and I soaked a lot of that buying with my asks that were taking profit, and the top was created. So the lesson there is that sometimes tops and bottoms don't have any real logic. The only logic is somebody said, that's enough profit for me. That matters, right? And then all of a sudden, when somebody is long and they have a ton of profit, they want to realize, well, guess what? That means they're about to start selling shit. So it really is that simple. So you can thank the pizza guy. If you are a Gala bag holder, the guy that delivered my pizza is the reason why you are underwater now. I think it's a great lesson because Everyone wants to think that TA is some magical fucking astrology way to read markets, and it's not. I'm surprised that some of you have not heard that story like Sapphire, bro. You've been in there in the Paragon for a long time. I've told that story so many times. I even have a video dedicated in the group to it because it's both a good joke and an educational lesson. So that's why we like this story. All right, what else? If Gala's listed in 55 years, that would be sad as fuck. I mean, you're right. It obviously won't be, but for the purpose of the story, just imagine being like old as shit and coming back and being like, yeah, I topped that coin out. Like, how cool would that be? However, positions on Bitcoin, a bunch of shit coins. It is what it is, bro. You live to fight another day. Doesn't VWAP replace volume? No. VWAP is a volume-weighted asset, right? But it does not replace it. They should be used in conjuncture. He just quit his job at the pizza shop and sold everything 100%. Basically went from a Domino's driver to a millionaire crypto bro overnight. Yep. See, what I never tell is I was the pizza delivery guy. I've never delivered pizza or done any job like that. I can only imagine. Like, look, when someone delivers a pizza to me, I always make an effort to be very polite to them. But I can only imagine having a job like that. You probably have some of the shittiest human beings disrespecting you. I couldn't do it. Like food service or anything like that, having people disrespect me. Oof. I would get fired so quick. Might even go to prison over it. Because I would literally strangle somebody over that shit. All your ideas about the market are irrelevant when size comes along and puts you in a coffin. Yeah, basically. It's hilarious. Glad you enjoyed it, bro. What up, Simran? All right, so I caught up with the chat for the first time all day long. I don't think I ever even actually got into any of the Outlook stuff. I'm not going to lie. I would much prefer to just answer questions on stream. So if you guys want to keep asking me shit, let me know. Let me know. Otherwise, we're 35 minutes into the stream. I'm not going to make this a 2-hour stream. I think we'll probably cap out at an hour here. So keep your questions coming. Perp contracts. How do you cash everything out every month or what? No. I do it based off performance, basically. So I haven't cashed out anything in a while. I haven't really had any exceptional profits to cash out, if I'm being honest, right? So I basically just do it whenever my account goes up. A lot, if I'm being honest, right? Which the truth of that answer is that happens during small windows, right? Over the past couple of years. So basically, let's look at the Bitcoin chart. And I'm not going to have exact dates, right? Because I don't actually know. But starting from the beginning of the trend, right? There was a lot of cash outs in Q1. Probably a lot of cash outs in Q4. Some cash outs in Q1. And that's pretty much it, right? So basically, whenever the market goes up a lot, it's probably when cash outs are coming on my derivative accounts. It's that simple. I do make notes about that in the Paragon sometimes, like, hey, I just withdrew or reset my account, right? I have like my Binance account, for example, has like a baseline, and once it gets really far or below, I will balance it back out to baseline. Which, yes, I won't lie. Sometimes I lose, right? It does, more often than not, I'm withdrawing, but there has been instances where I had to put money into the account, for sure, if I'm being honest, which we're always honest here. So yeah, you don't need to have any sort of specific rules around that. It's totally up to you. In my opinion, if you have a good month, a good trade in general, right, you could have a good week and you could withdraw. So retail is terrible, but good at learning experience, not gonna lie. I don't know what you're referring to exactly. I also don't disagree. So basically, no entry is generational. We should go with what the market is telling us. Well, yes and no. I mean, technically, there is such a thing as generational entries, right? Is the hold on. Let's go to the index. Are these generational entries? Yeah. I mean, I would even call the 10K flip, right? This is one of the SR flips I bought. Even buying 10K at the 10K flip is a generational entry, right? During this cycle, most of my highest entries were right here. All my entries are below 25K, between 17K and 25K. These can be, do I think you should think all your trades are generational entries, right? No, but just we want to play devil's advocate here and have a balanced view on all these concepts. There is such a thing as generational entries, right? It's just the likelihood that you're participating in it is low, and you don't ever know it's a generational entry until way further down the line. That's where the nuance comes into this conversation. So yes, generational entries exist. The likelihood of you catching generational entries is low, and you'll never know it's a generational entry until after the fact. But I think that that's a good argument to make, because there's going to be instances where with specific, the majority of crypto assets we know have no real value, but some of these things are going to be around, right? Bitcoin's going to be around. Solana's probably going to be around. ETH's probably going to be around. So when there's moments when those things get grossly mispriced, those do become long-term generational entries, right? I think back to some of my spot Bitcoin buys. I bought a fuck ton of spot in this dead zone when this was one of the scarier moments in my career. I DCA'd into this hard. I also was a lot less experienced at trading back then too. So I'll digress from that. What would invalidate your bull thesis for Q4? Certain levels being lost in the way that they're being lost is more important than anything, right? So right now I don't have a real reason to be pessimistic about flows. Yes, I don't really like how our local top played out for sure, but I mean essentially that's how I'd answer that question, right? A lot of people will say like, oh, we'll get below 60K and it's over, right? Well, I don't really view things like that, because we could get below 60K and then we could absolutely just play out more meme triangle continuation where we go below 60K and do this, right? So like levels, that's why levels are memes, right? So it's going to be a flow back thing for sure. Also, a lot of the times when I invalidate myself on stuff, it's just really, I just get that feeling that it's time to move on. Any thoughts on the MSTR outperformance lately? It's probably largely getting carried. Like that thing is a smart bet for people because it's a way for them to get crypto exposure. I would imagine that thing's been basically outperforming for years now. So I would say immediate term outperformance is probably just related to the stock market itself going up. Long term, truthfully, I don't really understand all the mechanics behind why Michael Saylor's stock is catching the bid the way that it does. But for all the people that hit over the years in crypto that called him a retard, honestly, like anytime I heard that, I kind of knew that the shoe was on the other foot, if you will. Any thoughts on when crypto reverses? Seems you've been bleeding. I mean, overall, like, yeah, we're bleeding if you're in altcoins, right? But we're not really bleeding in Bitcoin. All Bitcoin's doing is building out, compression. So, yeah, I mean, it's all about where your assets allocated, right? If you're in alts, then that's a pretty valid argument, right? But hopefully a lot of you guys abandoned ship on alts a long time ago. I mean, we're at that point where you should have abandoned ship on alts 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and you should be getting back into them now, if anything. But on that note, right, my risk, risk parameters are still quite low, right? Most of my risk is centralized around Bitcoin and Solana. You recommend prop shops for small traders? Probably not, bro. Your entry is generational. Do not take profit. You won't round trip. There you go. The supreme advice. Is trading your main/only job? Yeah. It's definitely my main income stream. As time goes on, I'm hoping that I can change that. That's one of the things that nobody tells you. It's not really, how do I word it? It's just not an ideal life style where you don't make money for months at a time. and then make a lot, or even don't make any money and then you lose, right? These scenarios exist. Would an RSI buying just work? What do you mean, bro? You mean that you're going to buy when RSI goes to 30 and sell when it goes to 70? If you think that that's going to work, then, go ahead and try it, bro. I promise you that it's going to be pretty difficult to play things like that, especially in crypto, where there's plenty of times where we go to 70 on RSI and stay at 70 for 4 months. Yeah, we'll digress. That's pretty obvious. Do you have any suggestion for somebody who'd like to grow his account on CT? Be fun to be around, be funny, be smart, provide value. You essentially have the option of you can be a trader, you can be a memer, or you can be some sort of combination of the two. I obviously am not the best person to ask how to grow on Twitter, though. I mean, I don't even have 50,000 followers, and I've definitely provided the value to where I should be far beyond that. The truth is that a lot of the growth on Twitter has nothing to do with what you do and has everything to do with who you're friends with and who promotes you, if I'm being honest. How long have you been trading for and how old are you? Well, I don't ever say how old I am for obvious reasons. I've been trading for over 9 years now. Q4 ending invalidates for sure. Oh, of course, yeah. But no, then we just cope and we just call it a Q1 up only instead. How can you say Bitcoin is building compression when you can clearly see it's in a downsloping channel? I'm not saying it's not in a downsloping channel, bro. I didn't say anything about that. I'm saying it's compressing, right? How do I need to depict this for you guys? This is volatile, right? We're getting into lower volatility. The average move up and down is shrinking as we're going through this range. It's getting tighter, right? Come on, dude. You either see it or you don't. It's that simple. The highs are getting lower, the lows are getting higher. Price is compressing. I'm very well aware of the trend channel. I don't trade anything about trend channels or anything like that, but I have eyeballs. I can see that this is in a downward slope. But your argument became a lot less valid. Any of the downtrend guys, right, became a lot less valid here, right? You have a clear higher high or higher low, whatever. I'm not a market structure guy, obviously. Let's try to connect the dots of what I'm saying and not be nitpickers. Any advice on entering low time frame positions on a breakout? Don't. Honestly, I don't know very many people that are successful at breakout trading. I'm not a good breakout trader. All of the breakout trading I do, I never enter on the breakout. I always enter on the opposing side. Well, I shouldn't say never. 9 times out of 10, 95 times out of 100, I'm going to be entering on the other side of value. So what's my advice for entering low time frame positions on breakouts? Try to position on the opposing side of range because you're going to have better expected value. Do you think TradingView's new footprint charts are good? Not really, bro. Not really. They're all right, but I wouldn't, I don't really use footprints that much anyways, and I don't really think that, yeah, if I was going to use a footprint, I would probably just use a toss. It's true, by the way, many people don't talk about the negative side of trading as the main source of income. Well, people don't. Ask yourself, guys, how many people have actually experienced that, right? So that's why it doesn't get talked about. One, it's not sexy for me to tell you guys that, hey, it's not a very stable way to live your life financially, and it's going to affect your mental health in ways that you probably can't imagine. Most people will never really experience that, so that's why you don't hear it. And on top of that, you're not going to hear people saying that because it's not sexy, right? People mostly just say what you want to hear, what they think you want to hear, right? So they're going to say, oh, yeah, it's going to be easy. You're going to use RSI, and then you're going to buy support, and you're going to do this and this, and it's going to be easy. Anyone with any experience knows it's not going to be easy. So people just lack honesty with these kind of things, probably because they have an ulterior motive more often than not. Pre-pump price action. Hope so. Thing I'm always thinking, how do you select your coins on your list? How do you stay up to date? Well, how do I stay up to date? So I spend time multiple times per week scanning the whole market. You do anything enough, you can get pretty good at it, right? So how do I scan? I'm not leaking anything because I've said this a million times. Spaghetti and VWAP. That's how I do all my scans, right? And then I just slowly update my lists. Okay, this thing is proving to be stronger than I thought it was, right? Or this thing's weaker than I thought it was, and I just update my list. So I do that every week, several times per week. Do you teach any class? Well, I mean, I'd like to say I teach, right? Because I do these streams, I do the Twitter stuff. I didn't come on here today to shill, but you know, quick shill. If you want to learn, this is the fastest place to learn. My style of trading, Doc's style, and Charlie's, right? We all have our own unique approach to trading. If you want to learn from us, the main thing that I'll always show, like the best thing I can always say is never that you're gonna come and learn our shit and become successful traders. I'm not gonna lie to you. The odds are stacked against you on that, right? However, what I can say with confidence is that you will learn faster through us, right? You cut down on your character arc, right? It took me so many years to get to where I'm at, and nowadays there's just resources to learn faster, which I really wish existed when I was learning, because I had to piece the puzzle, you know, I had to find the puzzle pieces myself and put them together. So it took me many more years than it theoretically should take you guys nowadays. Yeah, constant stress. Yeah, I mean, constant stress, we're going back to the lack of consistency in income, constant stress, and I don't even have a wife or a kid or anything, right? So imagine I have people that I'm responsible for taking care of. I can only imagine the extra, you know, like how that extra stress would affect me. What would be your take on OBV, on balance volume? I haven't used OBV since probably 2018, bro, so I can't really say. I used to use OBV in combination with moving averages and Ichimoku back in 2018, but I can't really speak on anything like that. What's your ideal way of entering a position just looking at the chart? I'm trying to, you know, so what do you say? So you didn't say buy or sell, you said entering a position, right? So I'm trying to identify an area where this is relatively cheap or expensive relative to the, you know, larger market. Because if you want to buy something and you can buy something that's relatively cheap compared to other stuff, right, that's going to increase the expected value on your trade, right? So basic auction market theory principles around buying cheap and selling expensive, using VWAP overlap, using composite profile, all this thing, right? I mean, nothing's changed for how I'm doing that, right? VWAPs, single prints, HVN, LVN, confluence and flow. It's all the same. How much is your Discord community? It's $150 a month, bro. Which, relative to competition and stuff, I can't confirm this is true, but this is what Doc was telling me he was pretty sure of, is that we're the cheapest. Which is crazy because I'm also pretty confident that no one teaches shit like we do. Miss you, brother. Miss you too, bro. Checkers, you're always asking my target on Sol, bro. I don't know. $1,000 seems far-fetched. Yeah, it is, bro. But you should go around everybody in your life. You should tell you should double that, bro. $2,000, right? Your barber asks, it's going to 2K. Your mom asks, it's going to 2K. Your cousin, your friend on Twitter, me. You tell me it's going to 2K. You want to know why you tell people that? Because that helps you sell higher, right? Last cycle, where did I say that the ETH was going to go? I said 10K. I said it's going to 10K and there's nothing you could ever do about it. Was there any part of me that thought it was going to go to 10K? Probably, you know, I consider that super low probability. But we'd say 10K so we can sell at 6. It's that simple, right? So you say Solana's going to $2,000 so we can sell it at 400 or 500. You're welcome. That's how you game. That's how you game out the game. I aged 10 years in just the last 2. No meme. Yeah, bro. That's why I started trading. I was stressed anyways. to learn to dream a little. I don't know what you're referring to. I said a bunch of negative stuff recently, so any one of the negative things I said you're referring to probably, but look, guys, I'm not trying to sound like a glass half empty person. I actually consider myself to be an optimist. However, your optimism needs to be founded in a sense of realism, right? So Solana to 100 or 1000 whiff to 100. Well, the whiff to 100, you're puffing on galaxy gas, my guy. Whiff to 100. Doge to 420, of course. Facts but legit. I find it hard even to estimate what would be appropriate market cap. Well, dude, you shouldn't be trying to think about it. You're being too logical, bro, right? You're trying to think about what would make sense. Market caps don't matter when when we go into turbo risk on stages. You can have things that shouldn't be worth more than $10 million go into $1 billion, right? That has no effect. It doesn't mean that it's really valued at $1 billion. It means that the token just traded to that pricing, right? So let's depict that really quickly. Let's say I have a token that has a supply of 10, but only 5 of them are circulating. So when this thing starts to go into a trend and only half of the supply is circulating, so only 5 of the 10 can be bought, when we get to a point where this thing is starting to trend up a lot and people are FOMOing in and buying, you can get to a point where these things can get lifted to ridiculously illogical pricing, right? And it has nothing to do with where the logic resides. It has something to do with just the fact that people are buying the asks out of the book and lifting the price up. So there's plenty of instances where tokens will get to pricing that has no sense of, logic or any foundation in the world that we live in, but it goes there anyways. Trump to 15. Good luck, bro. I haven't looked at Trump since I sold it. Let's look at it really quickly, actually, for fun. Did I remove it from my watch list? Either way, I sold a bunch of my Trump at $16, so it went all the way to 3. Yeah, good luck. I'm personally not running back the Trump play already. If Trump loses no bull run, nah, guys, I don't think that. Well, look, guys, let's not think about things in such a binary way, anyways, right? It's not one person wins bull run, one person loses bear market, right? It's probabilities. Both people winning have an expectation of a bull run, right? Or have a probability of a bull run. Obviously, one has a better chance than the other. I think the tokens will go up after early election, regardless of who wins, probably. Did you take some profit before yesterday? Nope. What happened yesterday? That was when I round tripped everything, right? I said that at the beginning of the stream. I round tripped a bunch of P&L yesterday. Is what it is. The top isn't going to make sense. Yes, the tops never make sense. If you guys are trying to find some sort of reasoning, you're gonna play this shit wrong, right? Why do you think people that have been around a long time joke always about beating themselves in the head with a hammer when we go risk on, right? If you try to be smart, you will not be smart, which honestly is one of my huge lessons that I say all the time, right? If you go through life thinking you're smart and trying to be smart, you will not be smart, or your chances of being smart are much lower. If you go through life just being content with being how you are and being open-minded and stuff, you have a much better chance of being a very smart person as a result. When you see them talking about meme flipping Doge, it's time to sell. I mean, yeah, I don't really see a world where Doge gets flipped by anything. Like there's a lot of dog shit, right? Like the thing that the doc's been saying forever of Shiba getting flipped by Pepe and things like that. Like that's a straight up logical fucking flippening, obviously, right? Like I don't know how Shiba is still like a top 2 coin. It's dog shit, right? Things like Pepe or Popcat or whatever, obviously better. I feel like Doge lost its mind share this cycle. I don't think so. It's just a much larger asset. You guys probably failed to realize that we lifted Doge's price 80% in a month. In March, I think it was. It's probably more than 80% because I was late to buying. I mean, we pushed it almost 200%, bro, in a month. So, yeah, I mean, for most of you guys, you're probably not that. It's probably not a good play for you to be positioning on Doge. For myself, this is almost always going to be one when I want to speculate on memes. Doge is always going to be one for me. And to be honest, it mostly just has to do with liquidity. This thing's going to go up less, so it's lower. This is a lower risk asset for me to bet on. Still getting meme coin exposure, but most importantly, liquidity, guys. I can clip into this thing in a way that I could not do on any other meme coins, right? I could just slam 100k buys into this thing and I will barely move price. If I do that to any other meme coin, all the hot meme coins you guys are focused on right now, if I slam into any of those things, I will slip the piss out of those books. So that's one of the main reasons why I trade Doge still. I'm not dumb enough for this current market. Need to sniff some more spray paint and nuke some more brain cells so I can perform optimally. Doc, you need to Google Galaxy Gas. That's what all the kids are doing nowadays. Oh, it's a rookie tweet. Yeah, that seems like a rookie tweet. Should be hoping for Doge to go high because it raises the ceiling for all other memes. Yeah, for sure. Hope you're doing well. My question is, Tensor's good tech bound to be a kingmaker hold in 2025? Probably not, bro. I'm down like 70% on my Tensor buys. That's one of the only things I didn't sell when I should have. Like, I sold pretty much everything at the peaks on their evaluations. I definitely fucked up on Tensor because I'm friends with people on the team. Tensor itself as the exchange is clearly a very valuable exchange, but the value of the token and the value of the exchange are not the same thing. So they need to change their tokenomics probably, right? They need like the BNB scam where Binance is constantly buying and burning the tokens, which makes it go up. Market regime has been trashed for so long, I forget how it feels to believe. I think that's why people target. It's only like 80k. There's two ways to think about that. One, we set a lower target not because people got smacked up in the summertime, but because it actually is not that high of a likelihood that Bitcoin's gonna go to 150k next leg, right? I don't think that the top is 80k or whatever. That's the next like swing point that I'm looking for, right? I think if we get another strong impulse, we're going to be looking around 70k is going to be a key swing point or around 80k, excuse me. I lost my train of thought with that one. People that think that Bitcoin's going to go to 200k or 250k or anything like that, though, this is unrealistic. People should be having more reasonable targets than that for sure. Is that possible to go to 200k? Absolutely it is. But if you map things out in probabilities, it's not that high of a probability. Not good, you stealing tweets now? What? When the fuck do I ever steal anybody's tweets, buddy? Nice try. Have you looked at alts yet? Today? On the stream? Not really. I didn't even look at Bitcoin on the stream, though, dude. The fact that Hasaka's nowhere to be seen is representative of the current state of things. I don't really agree with that. I think that he's probably just not showing his face to allow for the cooldown and the reset, right? That's what everybody does. Anytime one of these larger accounts gets pitchforked really hard, the strategy they all employ is the goldfish argument. They all go ghost, go silent, they're never to be seen from a while, and then all of a sudden they will pop up and then act as if nothing ever happened, and most people will forget and embrace them. So think about any of the people that have disappeared this year. There's been a lot of big accounts that have gotten called out and disappeared. They'll all come back, and they won't have the pitchforks will have subsided, and they will go back to doing things the same way that they already did. So that will 100% happen to Saka, in my opinion. He's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. The value of his account is too high for him to abandon it, right? He can convert his account into money, right? And how many people in the space can say that? On-chain plays you're proud of historically? I'm not a big on-chainer, bro. I think probably my best on-chain play ever was DeFi Kingdoms. Everybody got drunk. I got drunk off the Kool-Aid on that one, and I remember coming on I was back on Twitch back then, and I remember going on Twitch and saying I was dumping that shit. I meant Doc for his joke. Oh, sorry, frat. If I ever am toxic to any of you guys, or maybe like quick to snap back, you just gotta understand that, hey, that's just my nature. I do that with all my best friends. I'm very quick to slap them with some jokes as soon as I can. But also, I get chirped at on Twitter and stuff, you know. So I like, anytime somebody tries to chirp, I like bodying them, so I'm quick to do it. I don't even think I said anything bad in this instance. He will return and claim clout. Yes, the price will go up, and then he will say, I bought it. The same as everybody else on Twitter. All right, everybody. I'm going to start to wrap up the stream here. We took an interesting turn where I don't think that I even talked about Bitcoin for more than a second. I think I basically just went straight into questions. Let me know if this is the kind of formatting that you guys like. Don't be afraid to speak out and say that you don't like this formatting, right? Don't be afraid to do it. If you would prefer that I took 20 minutes doing Bitcoin outlooks instead, say that. I don't really care one way or the other. I do enjoy the questions more because it's just more of a nice try, buddy. You got to be more creative with that. I do prefer the Q&A formatting because it's more fun for me. It's more engaging in that way. However, I can see the argument for why the other stuff is good too. It really depends on where you're at. I think most of you guys would probably benefit from the rambles more than anything, but requires an attention span. That's the caveat there. Quoting equals tweet stealing. It's over for you, Doc. I don't even know what we're referring to, but it's over. Great not to look at charts. This is peak crypto, not looking at scams. Yeah, I mean, guys, I can already tell I already know who the scam bank run free account is. I was wondering why a specific name that almost always shows up wasn't showing up. That's honestly like next level autism, like making alt accounts on YouTube just to reply guy me. I respect it, honestly. I respect it. I think at a minimum it would be awesome to get your outlook on Bitcoin and then the alts follow. I mean, part of so I also put out the outlook, right? So in this instance, like this week, I didn't share my outlook. I could have, but I chose not to. I don't mean on the stream. I mean on the actual just YouTube channel, right? Because I take my Paragon outlooks and then we cut out 70% of it and then share it. I just chose not to do that this week. Frankly, the Paragon members deserve it. And nobody else does, if we're being honest. I think at a minimum, okay, I already read that. Mix of Q&A with some outlook. Yeah, I probably should have made the effort to do a little bit more outlook, and then that will probably make the combo a little bit better. It's value in a different way. I watch a lot of streams for the asides anymore. I don't know what you're trying to say there, Charles. I like the Bitcoin TA. Lucifer indeed. Simple, you got it, bro. A lot of the sauce is in the trade and money management that people casually mention. Yeah, everybody focuses on the fucking, yeah, I'm going to put my stop loss here, yeah, and then we're going to target here, yeah. And this is what trading is. I drew a stop loss tool, right? That's like 5% of the trade. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. You don't think it's Lucifer? Well, there's obviously no guarantee, but I do think it's him. Because I know who Lucifer is. All right, everybody. So, closing thoughts. Closing thoughts are I'm still optimistic on the market as a whole about what's going to happen. It's far too early in the potential risk cycle to be going crazy into shitcoins for me. We all have different risk appetites and whatnot. Just understand that if you're shoving your chip stacks into altcoins right now, you're taking on an enormous amount of risk, I think. So I have concentrated my bets around Bitcoin and Solana and a couple of altcoins like Popcat and Pepe. That's pretty much the only place that I have any risk allocated to these markets right now. I have a good idea of what it's going to look like for us to push to that next level where I really say meat's back on the menu and start shoving chips into more meme coins, right? But until then, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing, which is being optimistic and being bullish, but still leaning a little bit risk adverse because I don't want to dip down the risk curve into dog shit, right? I'm staying with liquid large cap stuff. Which something like Popcat is, I would consider to be liquid and large, right? There's so much trading activity with Popcat that I would have to make an effort to move price if I wanted to. So that's going to be it for me this week. Hopefully we learned something. Hopefully we enjoyed the conversation in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to pop out and move on with my day. So you know Blood's not a KOL when he buys Popcat. Yeah, I bought that shit at a fucking 90 cents, bro. I should have bought Popcat way earlier. I just fucked up on that trade for sure. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your week. Keep an eye out for some Twitter content.